Good evening, welcome to Wednesday's Midlands Today from the BBC. Tonight, Birmingham and Coventry could have brand new directly elected mayors before the end of this year.
The City's Minister Greg Clark announced today that the government is fast-tracking plans for London-style mayors in 11 UK cities. It would mean referendums being held on the 3rd of May. That's the same day as this year's local elections. If there is a yes vote, the plan would then be to hold votes for the new mayoral posts on what's being called Super Thursday on November the 15th. The Minister said he wants to push ahead quickly to help create jobs and boost growth. Here's our political reporter, Susanna Mendonça.
It's Britain's second city, and today the scene of a showpiece government announcement.
Our intention is to hold the first mayoral election on November the 15th. That's the same day as the elections for the police commissioners, and hence a day that I hope will be a landmark day in the shift of powers and influence from Whitehall to communities.
And joining him on the cheerleading panel, hosted by Birmingham's Chamber of Commerce, two political big beasts who think directly elected mayors would do a better job than council leaders.
The way the structure works doesn't give a platform of power to that locality or a given person. And that's what I think this issue is all about.
It's also about profile, according to this former Labour Transport Secretary.
In London, virtually all Londoners know who Boris and Ken are. The fact they call them by their first name tells you everything you need to know about their name recognition. In Birmingham and Coventry, the leaders of councils aren't nearly so well known, and they're barely known at all outside the cities.
So is he right? Do Brummies know their council leader?
No, I don't know.
No.
If I told you it was Mike Whitby, does that name ring a bell?
No.
Oh gosh, is it Mike Whitby?
It is.
Thank God I got that right. I work for Birmingham City Council.
Not a scientific poll, I grant you, but on the streets of Coventry, another city to vote on whether to switch to an elected mayor in May, we find a similar response.
I ain't got a clue.
Is it Mullin? Is it John Mullin? Is it?
I believe it's John Mutton.
Mutton, that's it. I was close.
The council leader in Coventry and his Labour-led authority rejected the idea of an elected mayor earlier this month. Here in Birmingham, Labour candidates have literally been lining up to throw their hats into the ring. But there are those who think that putting too much power into the hands of one person could be bad for democracy.
I think people will probably vote against because they won't want the corruption and the concentration of power.
But spicing up Birmingham's image is what the latest arrival to the city's restaurant scene thinks a directly elected mayor could do.
I think an elected mayor for Birmingham would be great for business. It's an ambassador that we want out there promoting the city for leisure destinations, business destinations, and yeah, it would be fantastic for the city.
The business world, though, doesn't get to decide. That's the people's job.
Well, let's talk to Susanna now. She joins us now from the roof of the Cube in Birmingham. So plenty of support from politicians there, but is there any sign the public really want directly elected mayors?
Well, you see, Suzanne, that's the key challenge, to get people here in Birmingham and in Coventry actually voting in a referendum as to whether or not they do want a directly elected mayor. And you got the sense from my vox pop in that film that getting people interested in it is actually a bit of a challenge. And certainly Birmingham Chamber of Commerce today was saying that it's going to be backing the Yes campaign here in Birmingham. Of course, the No campaign will also be pushing for a No vote.
OK, then, remind us again then of some of the leading candidates for the job, if there is a yes vote in those referendums in May.
Yeah, in Birmingham we've already had a lot of people putting their names forward. Not one, not two, but three Labour candidates. We've got Sean Simon, who actually stood down as an MP to take on this role as he sees it. Also Gisela Stewart, current MP, and Albert Bohr, who's the leader of the Labour group on Birmingham City Council. And then we've got some independents, people like Bob Warman, who's the TV presenter, and also some other independent candidates who'll be putting themselves forward. In Coventry, Bob Ainsworth is the only real big name, but no doubt as we get closer to that referendum, and if that referendum does result in a yes vote, we'll have a lot more people putting themselves forward.
OK, thanks very much for now anyway, Susanna. And we'd love to know your thoughts on elected mayors for Birmingham and Coventry. You can get in touch through our Facebook page or, of course, by email. That's at midlandstoday@bbc.co.uk, and we'll hopefully read some of your comments a little bit later in the programme.
And later, also in tonight's programme,